the moment he pushed open that door, things spiraled completely out of control. He had originally come to uncover the truth about his parents' murder, only to unexpectedly discover that the killer was standing right in front of him. To make matters worse, his best friend had kept this secret hidden for years. Inside the Hydra base, Tony stood alongside Steve and Bucky, watching the surveillance footage that had been concealed for years. Tony witnessed with his own eyes his father being ruthlessly beaten, and his mother murdered in cold blood. But what truly broke him was realizing that Steve had known the truth all along, yet chose to keep it from him. Despite years of friendship, Tony did not attack Steve, but he was determined to make Bucky pay. Just as he moved to strike, Steve stepped in to stop him. Tony fired an electromagnetic restraint, pinning Steve to the spot, then grabbed Bucky by the throat, preparing to blast him at point-blank range with his repulsors. Bucky smashed the restraint to pieces with his cybernetic arm, and Steve broke free as well, shouting at Bucky to run. Struggling to his feet, Tony gave chase, but the repulsor thrusters on his boots were destroyed by Steve's shield. He could only watch helplessly as Bucky escaped. Consumed by frustration and rage, Tony fired a missile to seal off the exit, cutting off Bucky's only way out. At that very moment, Steve lunged at him, and all three of them plummeted from the heights, crashing heavily onto the ground. After being thwarted time and again, Tony completely lost his patience. He put every ounce of strength into a punch aimed at Steve. Venting years of pent-up fury, Bucky joined the fray as well, grabbing his shield and teaming up with Steve to attack Tony. Iron Man slowly began to lose the upper hand, but he spotted an opening and blasted Steve back with his chest repulsor. The fight devolved into a one-on-one duel between Tony and Bucky. Even as an enhanced super soldier, Bucky knew he was no match for Iron Man. He took a desperate gamble to rip out Tony's arc reactor, only for his metal arm to be blown apart by Tony's energy blast. Before Tony could launch another attack, Steve charged back into the battlefield. Tony kept him at bay with repulsors, but in close quarters combat, he was forced entirely onto the defensive. The suit's artificial intelligence rapidly analyzed Steve's fighting style. Just as Steve gained the upper hand, Tony disarmed him of the shield and knocked him flat on the ground. Filled with anguish and wild fury in his voice, Tony slammed Steve hard against a pillar, but Steve's only focus was saving Bucky. He rose to his feet once more, ready to fight. Tony fired his lasers. At the very last second, Bucky grabbed Tony's leg. Together they hoisted him up and slammed him brutally against a steel beam. Steve pinned Tony firmly to the ground and smashed his armor to pieces with fierce blows, accompanied by a deafening blast. The arc reactor was completely destroyed. Just as Steve helped Bucky up to leave, Tony muttered weakly, "That shield doesn't belong to you. You don't deserve it. My father built that."